Hey folks, Gwe. The Vatican has announced that the Pope will be traveling to Canada. The Pope will be coming to Canada to meet with the Indigenous peoples in Canada to speak with them about the residential schools and the Church's part, the Church's responsibility when it comes to the residential schools. The Vatican has said that he's coming to help with the reconciliation process with Indigenous peoples here. We could easily talk for 20 minutes about what he should have done, or what the office should have done, what the previous popes should have done, what the Church should have done. We can talk about what he better do, what he ought to do. We can demand certain things. But you know, from where I stand right now and from what I've seen, I am incredibly grateful that he's at least taking this step. I was really grateful a month or so ago when I heard about the fact that he was going to meet with Indigenous peoples from Canada at the Vatican. I thought that was good. Now that he's coming, I think that's a great step in the right direction. My prayer, my hope is that when he comes, he will issue a formal apology from the Church's perspective. I remember when Stephen Harper apologized. As Prime Minister of Canada, Stephen Harper, I believe he was the first Prime Minister of our country to apologize for what took place in the residential schools, the fact that they even existed. And I remember hearing about how much that meant to some of the Indigenous peoples. When the churches, a few years back, around that same time, the Anglican Church of Canada, the United Church of Canada, some of the other churches that were involved to a smaller extent, the United Church and the Anglican Church were involved to a much greater extent than many. When the heads of our churches have apologized, and they've done so on several occasions, that it has an impact. It has a positive impact on the Indigenous community. So when the Pope comes, I'm hoping he issues an apology. I'm hoping he steps up and asks the Canadian churches, the Canadian diocese to accept their responsibility in it. I hope that he offers us, in his wisdom and in his intelligence and in his love, a loving way forward that we can all learn from. My prayer is that his visit to Canada is deeply impactful on the entirety of the reconciliation process in a helpful and a healthy manner. I have a lot of hope for this visit. Our relationships with each other as individuals, as communities, as peoples are so essential. They are of such primary importance when you read the Scripture. Our relationship with our neighbors, our relationships within our communities, our relationships with our enemies, with our friends, with our family, with the strangers, with the foreigners, they are so important when it comes to our relationship with God. I mean, to the extent that in 1 John writes, those who say they love God but hate their neighbor, they don't get it. I think he goes a lot further, uses a lot harsher tones than that. But you can't love God if you don't love your neighbor. If you say you love God but you hate your brother or sister, that's an impossibility. You can't possibly love God and hate someone. Our relationships with each other directly impact our relationship with God. Now, I don't know why the Sermon on the Mount has been so important this week. It's not even part of my daily office of reading the Bible this week, but it has been. In the Gospel of Matthew chapter 5, Jesus talks about our relationship to our brothers and sisters, and he says, to paraphrase, that let's say you're out, you're doing something, and it's essential. It's the most important thing you think you could possibly be doing in that moment. Jesus says, stop what you're doing, drop what you're holding, and go, and at least make the attempt to reconcile to the person you have the problem with, to the person where there's an issue. Stop whatever you're doing and go to them. Offer yourself to them. Take that step. At least take that step. And when you've done that, then come back and finish doing that essential thing you were doing. And for Jesus, we're talking about essentials. For Jesus in this moment, he's literally talking about going to synagogue. He's talking about going and making an offering to God. going and presenting yourself and your offering to God. And he says, stop. Yes, that's very important. Sure, it's very important. But stop. This is more important. Because this relationship you have with God is only as strong as the relationships you have with the people around you. As an individual and as communities. Our relationships with each other are essential for our relationship with God. Our relationships with each other are an indicator, a litmus test for our relationship with God. You know, a good tree doesn't produce bad fruit. A bad tree doesn't produce good fruit. If we are in a tense, hate-filled, angry, frustrated, anxiety-producing relationship with each other, that's the best our relationship to God can be. Now, I'm not saying we have to have a rosy, rainbow, unicorn kind of relationship with everybody, but we need to make sure that we've at least done our part. Or we are at least doing our part. Reconciliation can take a long time. Forgiveness can take a long time. Coming to understand and to empathize with somebody can take a long time. But so long as we're on that path, that's what matters. So the Pope coming to Canada as part of the reconciliation process for the Roman Catholic Church, I'm so grateful. Because it offers an opportunity for growth. It offers an opportunity for reconnection. It offers an opportunity for the restoration of health, for healing, for a people who have been so incredibly damaged by our maliciousness. And for those of us, even though I'm on the outside of that particular relationship, I pray that there'll be stuff that will come out of it that I can learn from to make myself a better person, to help my church become a better organization, a better community, so that we can grow closer to our Indigenous brothers and sisters, and so that they can perhaps forgive us on an even deeper level. It would be easy just to simply say, well, this should have happened years ago, or this could have happened, or this would have done that. But I don't know what the future holds. I just know for me, given what I know of Jesus' teachings, that this is a step in the right direction. That the Pope and the Vatican are taking a step in the right direction. And I look forward to seeing many, many, many more steps in the future. Because I hope there'll be some that we can follow too. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord's face be made to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord's countenance be lifted up to you. May you always know the peace of being in the Lord's presence. And I pray that as you and I think about and meditate on our relationship with God, we will think about and meditate on our relationship to all the people around us, as individuals and as communities. And that we will never forget that the health of these relationships with those folks around us, with our neighbors, is essential if we are to have a healthy relationship to the one who created us all. Amen. Nemultus.